Made
Hi,
with Clipchamp.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Takifah binti Wahaizi and my group mate is Muhammad Nabil bin Hamdan, Muhammad Afham bin Muazzam, Muhammad Hafiz bin Mahazi and Najatul
Made
Haya
with
binti
Clipchamp.
Zulkifli. Today, we will present about gas chromatography and high performance liquid chromatography (HPLC).
Made with Clipchamp.
Let's start with introduction. Gas chromatography is a process by which a mixture is separated into its constituent by a gas phase moving over a stationary phase.
Made with
A gas
Clipchamp.
chromatograph is an analytical instrument that measures the content of various components in a sample. Gas chromatography is the term
Made
for the
with Clipchamp.
analysis performed by a gas chromatograph. Gas chromatography is commonly used to determine the purity of a chemical or to separate the
Made with
various
Clipchamp.
components of a mixture. In some cases, gas chromatography can be used to identify a compound and to separate
Made
pure
with
compound
Clipchamp.
from a mixture. The mobile phase or moving phase in gas chromatography is a carrier gas, which is commonly an
Made
inert
with
gas like
Clipchamp.
helium or an unreactive gas such as nitrogen. Inside a piece of glass or metal tubing called a column,
Made with
the
Clipchamp.
stationary phase is a microscopic layer of liquid or polymer on an inert solid support. A gas chromatograph is the instrument
with
used to
Clipchamp.
perform gas chromatography. The analyzed gases compound interact with the column's wall, which are covered
Made
with a
with Clipchamp.
stationary phase. This causes each molecule to elute at a different time, which is known
Made with
as
Clipchamp.
the compound's retention time. The analytical values of gas chromatography is determined from the comparison of
Made with
retention
Clipchamp.
period. High performance liquid chromatography (HPLC) is an analytical technique to separate,
Made with
identify,
Clipchamp.
and quantify components in a mixture. HPLC separates the components of a mixture using a liquid mobile phase.
Made with
HPLC
Clipchamp.
requires that analyte be dissolved in a solvent before being pushed through a column under high pressure. HPLC is extremely versatile since it can easily
Made with
separate
Clipchamp.
non-volatile and thermally unstable chemicals such as organic, inorganic, biological sample, synthetic or natural polymers,
Made
and
with
thermally
Clipchamp.
labile compounds. The principle of HPLC separation is based on the distribution of the analyte sample between a
Made with
mobile phase
Clipchamp.
eluent and a stationary phase column packing materials. Depending on the chemical structure of analytes, the molecules are slow as they pass through the stationary
with Clipchamp.
phase. The specific intermolecular interactions between a sample's molecules and the packing material dictates how long it
Made
remains
with
on
Clipchamp.
column. As a result, the elute elements of a sample appear at various times. As a result, the ingredients in the
Made with
sample can
Clipchamp.
be separated. A detecting unit such as UV detectors detects the analytes after they have left the column.
Made with
The signals
Clipchamp.
are converted and recorded by a data management system, which is computer software, which is then shown in a
Made with Clipchamp.
chromatogram. After passing through the detection unit, the mobile phase can be exposed to additional detectors unit, a fractions
Made with
collections device, or the waste.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Afham bin Muazzam from the class AS12056
Made with
and I'm
Clipchamp.
going to explain about the methodology part of our case study. The aroma compounds of the vanilla extracts were analyzed by
Made
using the
with
gas
Clipchamp.
chromatograph with a combination with a mass selective detector. The extract's aroma compound of vanilla was dissolved from the sample
Made with Clipchamp.
by desorption during the PTV inlet and the TDU was splitless. The TDU temperature was
Made
set
with
to start
Clipchamp.
at 70 degrees Celsius and later will be increased to 250 degrees Celsius at 60 degrees Celsius per minute, which has been held for 5
Made with
minutes.
Clipchamp.
The dissolved aroma was trapped at negative 10 degrees Celsius inside the PTV inlet. Cryofusing has occurred and the PTV inlet was
Made
heated
with
to
Clipchamp.
280 degrees Celsius at a rate of 12 degrees Celsius per minute, which has been held for 20 minutes. The peak area of vanilla extracts was compared
Made
to
with
the
clip
peak
charm.
area of the flavoring compound. The mass selective detector and an olfactometric pot were used to analyze the aroma compounds of the vanilla extracts.
Made with clip charm.
Using a mass spectral library and an internal base, aroma compounds were
Made
identified
with clip
from
charm.
the mass spectra. Each vanilla extract was placed inside the Erlenmeyer flask with an internal standard and a saturated solution.
Made
The
with clip
temperature
charm.
of the oven was set at 40 degrees Celsius with a temperature gradient up to 240 degrees Celsius. The vanilla aroma compounds were separated using
Made
a
with clip charm.
DBFFAP column. Using both MS and NODP detector in full scan mode and a split ratio of 1 to 4, the
Made with
vanilla
clip
extracts
charm.
were analyzed. The volatile compound analysis was carried out using GCE in conjunction with mass selective detector. In a heated tray
Made
of
with clip
multi-purpose
charm.
sampler, the vial is heated at 70 degrees Celsius.
The results were correlated with the sensory result, showing that anisole
Made with
and
clip charm.
vanillin descriptors had the highest score for the same extract. The level of volatile acid was highest in Indonesian vanilla
Made
extract.
with clip charm.
A specific ketone, such as the raspberry ketone, was found only in the Indonesian extract. However, from the sensory result, the extract with
Made
the
with
highest
clip
score
charm.
for the powdery fruit was found for the PNG extract, whereas the Madagascan and Indonesian extract did not display the
Made with
sensory
clip charm.
characteristic. The powdery fruits notes in PNG extract are explained by the high level of anisole acetate.
Made with clip charm.
The level of vanillin was similar for all three extracts, whereas the sensory evaluation shows the Indonesian extract had
Made
less
with clip
powdery
charm.
vanilla than other extracts.
Now I will talk about discussion. The prominent characteristic of white chocolate samples were a sweet taste
Made with
and a
clip
powdered
charm.
vanilla flavor. Moreover, there are substantial difference in milk powder, almond and aniseed notes between three vanilla origins in white chocolate. The Indonesian sample had a strong
Made with clip
intensity
charm.
of milk powder, whereas the PNG sample had a higher intensity of almondy and aniseed note. Due to these two descriptors, panelists were able
Made
to
with clip
distinguish
charm.
the PNG extract from the other extract. From the data analysis,
Made
we
with
know
clip
that
charm.
vanillin can be found in white chocolate. It's a phenolic aroma compound. Glycol and vanillin were found to have the maximum odor strength for all the three origins
Made with clip
after
charm.
the GC-MSO data analysis of vanilla extract. Both aroma compounds are phenolic. In all three vanilla sources, glycol and vanillin are essential aroma compounds.
with clip charm.
There is a clear relationship between the sensory features of pure vanilla extract from the three different origins and their sensory characteristic in white and
Made
milk
with clip
chocolate.
charm.
Both the sensory features of the vanilla extract and the sensory
Made with
qualities
clip
of the chocolate samples are in correlation with the GC-MSO results. The main key aroma compounds in vanilla from all the three origins are glycol
Made
and
with clip
vanillin,
charm.
which are related to the phenolic notes. Key aroma compounds in the Indonesian extract include the ethyl to methyl butanoate and 3-over-2-methyl
Made with
butanoic
clip
acid,
charm.
which are related to the fruity and the fermented aromas. Additionally, major aroma compounds for the PNG vanilla are anisaldehyde
Made with
and
clip charm.
unidentified compounds, which are responsible for the anistic note.
Assalamualaikum
Made with clip charm.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Afam bin Faizam from the class AS12056 and I'm going to explain about the methodology part of our case study.
Made with clip charm.
For 16 hours, extract the cured vanilla from pre-extraction Z1 in the solid extraction device with 200
Made with clip
ml
charm.
of 99.9% ethanol. Fill a 250 ml volumetric flask halfway with water. Then, rinse the
Made with
extraction
clip
equipment flask numerous times with small amounts of 99.9% ethanol and pour the washings into the volumetric
Made with
flask.
clip charm.
Mix in the ethanol until it reaches the desired consistency. Then, in the percolation equipment, extract the cured
Made
vanilla
with clip
from
charm.
pre-extraction Z2 Erlenmeyer. Submerge Z2 in Erlenmeyer 100 ml for 1 night with around 35 ml of 99.9% ethanol.
Made with ClipChamp.
Through a paper filter, transfer to a 100 ml volumetric flask. Rinse the filter paper with 5 ml of
Made with
99.9% ethanol and keep it for subsequent filtering. The result of the cured vanilla from 1 night with roughly 35 ml of
Made with
99.9% ethanol. After 1 night of submerge, ethanol from the second submerge was fused with ethanol from the first submerge using the same paper filter
Made
that
with
was used
ClipChamp.
for the first filtering. Fill a volumetric flask halfway with 99.9% ethanol and pour the washings over the
Made
cured
with
vanilla.
ClipChamp.
The vanillin was separated using methanol acidified water 10 plus 90 on a reverse phase
Made
C18
with
column
ClipChamp.
and detected at 280 nanometer. Shimadzu provided the Hplc system and Hitachi provided the UV spectrophotometry equipment.
Made with ClipChamp.
Hplc has a flow rate roughly 4 ml per minute. For the preparation of standard solution, in 99.9%
Made with ClipChamp.
ethanol, standard solutions comprising 0.5, 1.0, 2.0, 3.0 and 4.0 ppm of each standard
Made with
were produced
ClipChamp.
for Hplc. The solutions were kept at -2 degrees Celsius until they were needed for analysis.
Made with
Spectrophotometric
ClipChamp.
standard solutions comprising 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 and 5.0 ppm of each standards were produced in
Made with
99.9% ethanol.
Table 2 shows the amount of vanillin for 12 samples determined by the Hplc technique and the
Made with
ISO
ClipChamp.
spectrophotometric assay method. The data show that for 12 vanilla samples, the spectrophotometric assay consistently yielded higher values than the
Made with
Hplc technique.
ClipChamp.
Vanillin is not pure, mixed with another substance and absorbed at the same wavelength area. This will cause high absorption.
Made
The
with
use of
ClipChamp.
UV spectrophotometry can be more accurate if a sample is separated firstly, such as using special
Made with
chromatography
ClipChamp.
column. The present data are in agreement with previous data that the amount of vanillin for 4 samples determined
Made
by
with ClipChamp.
ISO spectrophotometric assay yielded higher than the Hplc method. Statistical analysis using variance analysis investigation of the recovery process was
Made with
carried out
ClipChamp.
using Hplc analysis. Based on amount of required vanillin standard, the concentration of vanillin standard is 3.5 ppm.
Made
In
with
the same
ClipChamp.
condition of measurement, the analytical result using Hplc are 3.49, 3.51, 3.48, 3.48,
Made with
3.50
ClipChamp.
and 3.49 ppm respectively, with an average of 3.49 ppm. Therefore, it can be
Made with
calculated that
ClipChamp.
the recovery process obtained is 99.77%. This result shows that the method used to determine the concentration of vanilla using Hplc
Made
is
with
valid
ClipChamp.
enough for the next measurement.
Now I will talk about the discussion. The iron 20 plus were used to identify the alcohols, while the others
Made
show
with
the
ClipChamp.
hydrogen plus signal. The existence of the MZ353, 337 and 153, which correspond to the ions potassium, sodium
Made with
and
ClipChamp.
also 162 plus respectively confirm the structure of the GV. The later ion fragment represent the loss of the glucose.
Made
The
with
Hplc quantitative analysis was performed on 24 green undamaged fruits at 7 different stages of ripeness. The amounts of
Made with
GV,
ClipChamp.
free and total glucose 1 to 7 were calculated based on the amount present in the enzyme treated and non-treated extracts. According to the finding, and as the fruit matures,
Made with ClipChamp.
vanillin and the other 6 phenolic compounds build up in the fruit as glucoside and free form.
Made with ClipChamp.
Based on the ratio of free total glycol, it is proved that 4-hydrobenzyl alcohol, 4-hydrobenzyl acid, and
Made with
ethyl
ClipChamp.
alcohol exists mostly as glucoside during fruit development. The glucoside form begins to prevail towards the end of maturation for all other substances.
Made with
The
ClipChamp.
data also demonstrate that 4-hydrobenzyl alcohol is the most common ingredient in 3.5-month-old V. papana spp grandiflora fruits. Its concentration decreases
Made
over
with
time
clip
as the
charm.
number of vanillin compounds increase. Vanillin compounds 2 and 3 were found in higher concentration than benzyl derivative 5 and 6. All
Made
of
with
these
clip
compounds
charm.
are found in higher concentration in uncured V. planifolia fruits, with the exception of vanillin alcohol. The production of vanillin
Made with
in
clip
V.
charm.
papana spp grandiflora fruits occurs at a slower pace compared to the V. planifolia fruits, according to
Made
this
with
curve.
clip charm.
Throughout the 9th month, the concentration of vanillin in V. papana spp grandiflora fruits rises dramatically from 100
Made
to
with clip charm.
375 mol per gram.
Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Made with
My
clip
name is
charm.
Untitled Chapter, and for my part, I will explain the conclusion of this experiment. So for the gas chromatography, we can conclude that vanilla origins have the impact on chocolate taste. Result shows that Papua New Guinea samples is different from the Madagascan and Indonesian samples. The Papua New Guinea flavor's nature is correlated with almondy and anistic descriptors. Within a chocolate base, the botanical variety of vanilla from a certain origin has a greater impact on its sensory profile than the origin. The gas chromatography mass spectrometry results are in correlation with the sensory characteristics of both the vanilla extracts and the chocolate samples. Glycol and vanillin are the main key aroma compounds in vanilla from all three origins and are related to the phenolic notes. The Indonesian extracts has additionally ethyl 2-methylbutanoate and 3-2-methylbutanoic acid as the key aroma compounds related to the fruity and fermented notes. An unidentified compound and anisaldehyde are additional key aroma for Papua New Guinea vanilla, and they are responsible for its anistic note. Temporal dominance of sensations analysis confirms that sensory perception is highly influenced by the cocoa content. The more cocoa solids in chocolate, the lower vanilla perceptions is expected. Next, for the Hplc. The pre-extraction treatment for cured vanilla slice about 2.5 cm resulted in higher vanillin content because there is direct contact perfectly between vanillin component in vanilla sample and extraction solvent. The vanillin content resulted from the succinylation extraction is higher than from the percolation extraction. This occurred because there is continually solvent purity process in the succinylation extraction. Therefore, the density of the vanillin content in vanilla extract is high. Hplc is mostly used analytic technique due to the vanillin was separated from other compounds using the Hplc method, so we can conclude that this method is a more accurate way of determining the vanillin content of vanilla.